Look like Tommy Reese is telling the truth about Shedeur Sanders potentially playing and what it's like, Coach, at the bout, speaking about Shedeur Sanders and his offense. Now, we know the Browns' offense cannot get going in any shape, form, or fashion. It is pretty much a nightmare out there for this team. Now, Tommy Reese spoke with the media today and let some cats out.
What if I told you the Browns' offensive coordinator just threw a truth bomb so sharp it cut through every Shedeur Sanders highlight reel? Tommy Reese didn't just speak. He dismantled the fan fiction around Shedeur's rise in Cleveland. No sugarcoating, no PR polish, just raw, uncomfortable football honesty. It's half reality check, half soap opera, and it's got the dog pound buzzing for all the wrong reasons. Buckle up, because this one's got more turns than a busted fourth-quarter drive.
I'll say this, I came to Cleveland to work for Kevin. That's really the reason I took this job 2 years ago. Think the world of him, still think the world of him. Really, fortunate for the support he's given me over the last week, the support he's had for me over the last couple of years. I wanted to come to Cleveland to work for Kevin. I think the timing of it, you have a bye week, you have some time to step away and look at things through a different perspective and want to create a spark for the offense. And, again, how I feel is whatever they want me to do, whatever's asked of me to help us win games, that's what I want to do at the highest level.
Offense right now looks like somebody trying to crank up a car that's been underwater in Lake Erie since winter. The engine coughs, the lights flicker like a bad nightclub. And every near start ends with the same problem. Nobody remembers to turn the key. That's the whole vibe in Cleveland. Stalled, sputtering, and waiting for a spark.
Is there anything to this Shedeur not getting first-team reps?
I think it's a little bit strange.
Yeah. You do think it? So you think
yeah,
it is? Okay.
The guy's
right.
one turned ankle from one concussion check from upstairs. Drake May had to leave the game for 2 plays last week because the upstairs they thought he had a concussion. Right. So how could he not get 1 rep during the week? Now, just because that's the answer doesn't mean that's what's happening, but that's...
Tommy Reese, the new offensive coordinator, the guy hired to turn a busted jalopy into something that actually flies. Reporters came expecting fireworks, bold talk, maybe even a little hope. Instead, Reese stepped up to the mic and dropped pure, unfiltered honesty. The kind that hits harder than a Myles Garrett shoulder check in full speed.
Zach Jackson and him and everybody else that we talked to have said that Shedeur looks good. He looks really good.
Yeah.
He looks better. And we got Zach that say Dillon Gabriel ain't even an NFL quarterback.
That's true.
So how is it that this man can't get a rep with the ones, but that non-NFL quarterback can?
We all
what
agree with
sense
that.
Does that make?
It makes no sense.
Clearly, the guys running the team disagree with us.
Man.
It doesn't make any
and they're
sense.
the ones what are y'all trying to, what's the goal of this shit?
He basically laid it out. This offense? It's a group project where nobody bothered to do the reading. Reese comes out of Notre Dame and Alabama, programs where preparation isn't optional, it's religion. Down there, quarterbacks know their guys like family. Up here, they're still learning each other's names mid-drive.
You have to maximize opportunities even if there aren't a ton of reps to go around. You got to be creative with how you create some extra reps, specifically to get Shedeur ready if you can't get a bunch of reps there. So the good news is both guys are bought in and doing a good job of working hard and understanding how important those opportunities are, to be ready for the team. So it is a unique situation. I don't know how many times it's probably happened, but probably not a lot. And we have the right 2 guys mentally right now in their demeanor and how they're prepping and how they're coming to work.
This is the wilderness. The bye week was supposed to be a reset. Instead, it just gave everyone time to notice how busted things really are. Reese didn't point fingers, but every word out of his mouth screamed, "Yeah, we've got talent. We just have no clue what to do with it." The passing game looks like a group hobby gone horribly wrong. Reese said it takes all 11, which is football speak for don't pin this on the quarterback, everyone's out of sync. And that's when Shedeur Sanders slips into the picture, not by name, but by reality. The trust level? About as low as Cleveland's red zone efficiency right now. Reese did his best coach speak routine, talked about collaboration, process, rhythm, and patience. Translation: we've tried everything short of an exorcism. He said he's getting to know his quarterbacks, learning what makes them click, which is polite code for, we're still guessing, but at least we're guessing as a team. Back at Notre Dame or Alabama, calling plays felt like driving a Ferrari, smooth, sharp, and confident. In Cleveland, it's more like trying to steer a shopping cart with one busted wheel. Every snap's an adventure.
I think that's not my place, to answer, to even be able to give the answer to that. I feel like it's not in my control So I'm not even gonna think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, there's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So whenever that is, it is. But it doesn't make me feel down, or it doesn't make me feel left out or anything, because I know who I am as a person, I know who I am as an individual, and I know.
The media kept fishing for optimism, but Tommy Rees wasn't biting. Every question about the passing game got met with the same brand of hard-boiled realism. He talked about using the bye week to reset, to figure out what actually works, and to make the quarterbacks comfortable. He even mentioned finding new ways to stress defenses, which is ironic, considering the only ones stressed right now are Cleveland's defenders, stuck on the field all game while the offense forgets which way the end zone is. Still, Rees isn't wrong. This offense desperately needs a pulse. When asked how things would look now that he's calling plays, he basically said, "Ask me next week." That's coach talk 4. Let's just make sure we line up right first. He admitted every play caller brings their own twist. Stefanski has his system, Rees has his translation. The schemes might shift, but if they're still hanging 10 points a game, he joked, "Please don't tweet me." At Alabama, every drive felt like poetry in motion. In Cleveland, it's more like slam poetry, loud, awkward, and read off a crumpled napkin.
Gabriel been thrown in situations against some tough competition, tough guys. So that goes to show you that Dillon Gabriel is getting all the reps in training camp and in practice, because Tommy Rees just said himself, he's been thrown in situations with some stiff competition. That means that he's going up against the first team Cleveland Browns defense in practice. Shedeur Sanders doesn't get them opportunities. So
the issue in Cleveland isn't a lack of weapons. They've got wideouts, tight ends, backs, and more athletic talent than they know what to do with. But as Rees put it, weapons don't matter if nobody knows how to fire them. Right now, this Browns offense looks like the NFL's version of assembling IKEA furniture without the manual. Every week they try a new mix of plays, praying something finally resembles a functioning chair. That's coach speak for, "Yeah, Stefanski's still my boss, but I'm steering this thing now." Rees isn't promising any miracles, though. When asked what fans should expect from his system, he sidestepped the labels like a veteran politician. He also mentioned getting receivers comfortable and cutting down on drops. Nice sentiment. But in Cleveland, dropped passes are practically a holiday tradition. And through it all, he keeps talking about rhythm. "We just need rhythm," he says, as if it's something you can download off the App Store. But the Browns don't need rhythm. They need an exorcism. A full-blown seance to bring this offense back from the dead.
You know what? It doesn't make sense that he's a second string now and he's not getting any first team reps. It also doesn't make sense that he's not being considered to play any games this year, regardless of what we've been hearing. But this is the first time I've actually heard something that has to do with the planning and the development of any of the Browns quarterbacks, especially when it comes to Shedeur. They are being honest. Well, he is being honest. Tommy Rees is being honest with saying that, like, look, he's not going to get a ton of looks, but we're going to maximize whatever.
And that brings us right back to the Shedeur Sanders angle, because fans keep insisting rhythm starts with new blood. They wanted him under center yesterday, ready to save the franchise. But Rees lives in the real world, the one where rookie quarterbacks don't get tossed into chaos before they've even learned the playbook's language. He's not about to throw Shedeur into a hurricane and pray lightning turns him into Superman. Rees has seen this movie before. Young, gifted quarterbacks get hyped into legend before they've even earned a locker nameplate. Then reality hits like a defensive line, hard, fast, and unforgiving. So for now, he's sticking with patience, which for Browns fans might as well be a foreign language. He even talked about how those past experiences shaped him, how to drown out the noise, manage pressure, and stay locked on execution. And yes, he's staying up in the booth. He called it the best seat in the house. Makes sense because from up there, he doesn't have to see the faces of fans when another drive dies on third down. Rees has the resume, the knowledge, the tools. But this Cleveland offense? It's like inheriting a band where half the guys forgot how to tune their instruments. Now he's rewriting the sheet music, just trying to get them all back on beat.
That Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, just came out and said, because like I told you guys, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors with this Shedeur Sanders situation, man. Because we've seen footage of him in practice lighting it up. We've seen media reports. We've seen the fan out there in Cleveland on their radio show and their podcast talking about Shedeur Sanders is lighting it up in practice. And a lot of people have been at practice and they seeing what Dillon Gabriel is doing. and they saying he's looking a little pedestrian.
And somewhere in the background, Shedeur Sanders is waiting, polishing his potential, quietly watching the chaos unfold. Maybe even cracking a smile at the circus around him, because deep down, he knows his moment will come. Just not while Tommy Rees is still trying to convince the bass player to stop hitting the drums. The truth is, Rees doesn't hate attention, he just hates false hope. And in a league built on hype and delusion, that kind of honesty feels like cold water in a stadium full of hot takes. Don't mistake it for silence, though. In Cleveland, no one's crying during film study anymore. Counts as progress. What he wants is continuity, something this franchise hasn't seen since the Reagan years. When someone asked if he plans to let the tight ends cook, you could almost hear him sigh. They've been cooking, he might as well have said, just not the right recipe. Rees is tightening bolts, scraping off rust and preaching patience, a language Browns fans barely recognize. The players are starting to buy in. The fans? They're still dreaming about Shedeur breaking loose. But Rees isn't selling fantasy. He's not a magician and he's a mechanic. And right now, Cleveland's offense is still up on the lift, waiting for someone to find the missing parts.
It's not what we want to hear, but you know what? It makes sense now. Because the first few people, and when I say few, I mean 4 or 5 people that y'all put in front of the media when y'all ask about Shedeur, other than saying, I don't know or no, you actually gave a thought out plan that we can go with. We understand that he's a second string. We understand that he didn't come into the season a second string, but at least be a professional and give us a plan on how you plan on developing him if you're going to be asked these types of questions. So
It's that time of year again. The Browns are once more trying to redefine what offense even means. New playbook, new coordinator, same old confusion. And right in the middle of this beautiful disaster stands Tommy Rees, fresh off the Alabama roller coaster. Now holding a clipboard in Cleveland and realizing that teaching rhythm here is like teaching a cat to swim. The man just unpacked his suitcase, and he's already knee-deep in a quarterback riddle. Shedeur Sanders, the internet's golden highlight reel, sits at the center of every fan theory. They swear Rees is hiding some secret plan, but he's probably just praying for a clean snap that doesn't sail into the stratosphere. The NFL doesn't hand out reps like candy. You earn them by mastering the system. Problem is, that system's currently on life support. Shedeur might be the future, but the Browns can't even manage the present. The offensive line has more leaks than a busted pipe. The receivers treat separation like it's optional, and the playbook looks like it was drafted during a blackout. In short, same Browns story, new set of headaches.
I say the Shedeur thing, I don't understand at all. Maybe they think to themselves, we don't need to give you these many practice reps because we're going to give you a bunch of game reps. So maybe we just want to get you rested. He is coming off a sore shoulder and all those things. So maybe that's the case. I don't know. But I don't like it that much. I don't at all. I think that going into this game, sitting some of the best wide receivers that you have is kind of diminishing him a little bit as well, because I want to see what...
Rees isn't ignoring Shedeur. He's just trying to keep the rest of this offense from catching fire before September. That's the reality Shedeur's walking into. Not a fine-tuned NFL machine, but a live science experiment where the variables change every Sunday. You can see it on his face from the sideline. He wants in, it's killing him to wait. The kid's a competitor, but Rees knows what fans don't. Throwing Shedeur into this mess right now would be like dropping a Ferrari engine into a go-kart and hoping it fixes the ride. It's not fear of talent, it's protection from dysfunction. Rees isn't afraid of what Shedeur can do. He's afraid of what this line can't. He's probably spending late nights in the film room wondering how his O-line turned a simple protection scheme into abstract art. He's not dismissing Shedeur's potential and just being honest about the situation. The arm talent, the vision, the swagger, it's all there. But none of it matters if the pocket collapses before the kid can even set his feet.
What is going on behind the scene? How can this kid that was rated as a late first-round draft pick not get on the field for a team that sucks? They're not even giving him reps. That's on the coach, man. Stefanski's going to have to answer for that, and it might come at the end of the year, and it might come in the form of firing. What is going on? Does he have I don't want to pick on Kevin. Does he even have a...
Current protection scheme looks like it was sketched in crayon during recess. Tommy Rees has been in Cleveland for 5 minutes and already sounds like a therapist trying to talk a team off the ledge. But to his credit, he's not taking the bait on the hype. Rees has seen hype destroy locker rooms, seen promising young players turned into hashtags before their rookie cards even print. So he's sticking to the basics: blocking, timing, execution, the boring fundamentals that actually win football games. This offense doesn't need a new savior. It needs a sit-down and a long talk about its feelings, because every time they pick up a first down, it looks more like an accident than a plan. Still, you can sense the tone shifting under Reese. Practices feel sharper. Players seem more locked in, and while the scoreboard doesn't show it yet, there's a growing sense of accountability in the air. Reese isn't here to put on a show. He's here to build something that lasts, something that doesn't fall apart the second adversity walks in the door. And for the first time in a long while, the Browns might actually have a coach who values development over drama. The irony? Fans are losing their minds because Reese is doing his job right, choosing structure over chaos, logic over hype. Imagine that.
Shedeur.
Yeah.
And this is going. I mean, no disrespect to all you Shedeur lovers.
Oh boy, here it comes.
But if Shedeur Sanders was a bona fide first-round pick,
yes,
there will be nothing that will stop an organization.
That is correct.
You are
taking
1,000%
You are correct.
Because I just watched, what's the kid from Marshall?
But there won't be people,
like a
there'll be people that won't believe you, but you're right. Now, that being said, not that we want to go down this whole road, I don't think he dropped to the 5th round.
I agree. No, I agree with you.
He didn't. He didn't get taken.
I agree.
Not getting taken in the first round.
Clearly, watching him in practice right now tells you that he's.
When the headlines start screaming about Tommy Reese being brutally honest about Shedeur Sanders, remember, it's not drama, it's discipline. He's not calling anyone out. He's calling the team up. He's saying what every coach in this league wishes they could say. Let's figure out how to play as one before we start building statues for potential. Reese knows. Shedeur's moment will come. Talent like that doesn't stay in the shadows forever. But he also knows the NFL doesn't hand out trophies for promise. It rewards production. And production only happens when the machine runs clean. Reese isn't here to chase clicks or comfort egos. He's here to rebuild this offense from the studs up. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be awkward, gritty, maybe even funny at times. But that's the kind of grind Cleveland's been missing. No more patch jobs, no more wishful thinking. This is about a plan that actually sticks. So yeah, Reese was brutally honest. And that's the best thing Browns fans could hope for. It means someone's finally steering the ship with both hands on the wheel. And when the dust settles, maybe, just maybe, Shedeur Sanders steps onto that field. Not as a savior, but as proof that Cleveland finally did it right. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps more than you think.